Hello, everyone. My name is Cheryl Crooks. I am Executive Director of Cascadia International Women's Film Festival, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to today's interview with the director, Yuan Yuan, who made the short film, Heading South. She'll be speaking with our programmer, Faridah Gbadamosi. But before we get to that, I'd first like to thank our sponsors, KCTS and Crosscut Magazine, Washington State Arts Commission, and the Mary Redmond Foundation. Today's film, Heading South, is sponsored by the American Association of University Women, the Whatcom branch. So with that, we'll get to the interview with Yuan Yuan and Faridah Gbadamosi. Thanks so much.
Hello, my name is Faridah Gbadamosi, and I'm the programmer for Cascadia Film Festival this year, and I'm so excited to have Yuan Yuan with us today, the filmmaker of the absolutely stunning short, Heading South. Hello.
Hello, hi, Faridah.
I guess my first question is, what inspired the film?
You mean the story-wise?
Yeah, the story, yeah. I mean, you could also talk about why you became a filmmaker.
It kind of took a while. For this short film, the story was based on my childhood memory when I was around 5, I think, or 4. I couldn't remember exactly what happened, but I remember images. So I tried to rebuild the memory, create this an emotional journey about this little girl accepting this new family member into her family, how she feel about it. Yeah, basically it's my biggest inspiration. But the outside push is because we need to finish a short film in our second year program. So yeah, without outside and inside push, I couldn't do it.
Nice. Where did you find your lead actress? She was amazing. Like she was so expressive without speaking. So I was wondering, how did you find your actress?
Yeah, thank you. So we find her, she was a daughter of my friend who lives in that grassland. Her father used to be a horse trainer in Inner Mongolia, and he became a good friend of mine when I was traveling there. And I wasn't know she will be my lead actress when I decided to make this film. We post casting call online. I interviewed a lot of kid actors back in China. The problem is because usually the kids in Inner Mongolia, they need to learn both Mandarin and Mongolian when they grow up. It's similar to what happened in the movie. So sometimes they, if they want to pursue in acting, usually they have to act in Mandarin in the Chinese film market. Usually I find those kid actors wasn't that good, wasn't as natural as I imagined, because they have been act in big TV series as those kids who grew up in cities. So that was the biggest challenge. And also for this specific role, she needs to know how to ride a horse, which make it even more challenging to find the right person. So when we were very disappointed, at that moment, I met this girl again in a museum, actually. I was visiting the museum, and her father actually was also walking in the small town with his daughter. Yeah, and then this girl was so lovely, and she can speak good Mandarin and Mongolian, and surprisingly she can ride the horse pretty well. Yeah, so I feel that's like destiny. I have to work with her.
It sounds like it was meant to be with the film, and it was such a good fit. Speaking of writing courses, one of the things I found particularly interesting, especially since it's a student film, is that you play around with many different types of shooting. Like you have an animal, so you're dealing with animals and shooting. You have beautiful landscape shooting in nature, and then you have inside. So what was it like, I guess, filming in the varying places, and Was some of this style like new to you? Was there anything new to you when you were shooting in terms of things that you've done before?
Yeah, thanks for noticing those elements. Yeah, I was super excited to be able to try out new things in this film. A lot of things I never had a chance to test in short films I made in school before, because you must know how intense our short film schedule would be as student film, and we have to shoot near like 200 yards. There is a certain limitation that you have to shoot in New York. So for this short film, this is the first time we're able to shoot outside of New York, even outside of US. So I was pretty excited. But then maybe I got too excited. I have the animals. Yeah, you can see I have the very deserted grassland Mongolian steppe, and also I have the very poor city, maybe not the biggest city in China, definitely. The city we shot this film was near the border between China and Mongolia, which is super far from Beijing and Shanghai. So for me, I have to flew myself to the city first and then transfer to the small town first. And the nature location actually 3 hours drive.
Oh my God.
From the town, which is crazy. So I did a lot of crazy things because I got too excited and I paid a price for it. Yeah, we wasted a lot of time on the transportation, and a lot of production problems happened. Like, it was so cold in Mongolia in winter. The motorcycle the mom was riding, it just stopped working. And suddenly we can shoot for 1 or 2 takes, and suddenly it stopped. It's just things like that happened during the shoot. But overall, I was very excited. In film school, I was able to watch a lot of art movies that really changed my world. I love Antonioni's movie. I also love Italian neorealism movies. I feel those characters are so charming. I just feel I know them. I can feel some Chinese characters could totally do the similar thing, even though we're in totally different country, different time period. But I feel this tragedy in their faith, in their whole lifetime, just makes me want to make a film like that. And besides the European art house movie, I was exposed by my amazing, diverse classmates. I watched Luc Lachamatov's movies. Definitely also biggest inspiration is East Asian movies or from Singapore. Yeah, a lot of inspirations that shaped this short film into a style like this. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. I was, to be honest, the first time I saw it at a festival for student films, and I was kind of just taken away, so surprised by like how stunning the film was, and how polished it was, I guess. I thought it was extremely well done, and because of all the different elements that you were dealing with. So I guess another thing I wanted to ask is, how did you find, because the cinematography in it, of course, is stunning. So how did you design the shots? Did you work with a cinematographer that you worked with before?
No, and this is the first time I worked with DP. So I was supposed to work with my previous DP, but he got a very good job opportunity 2 months, I think 2 months before shooting, even though we've been like talking about this film ideas for a long time, but he will go to the big TV series project. But he recommended me his good friend, this DP right now. So yeah, I had a good time with this new person. I was doubting if we could cooperate well this time, but luckily, very lucky that he likes the movie I liked. So we've been watching movies together before production. He will recommend me movies that he feel would connect it to the style, and I would trim some clips from movies that I love. And after that period, I would draw storyboard, and he may list his short lists. So afterwards, we will meet and see what surprised me in his ideas and what I want to take. So I feel that's a good good things I tested this time, just to draw storyboards separately, so I can have some surprise afterwards. What else? Yeah, overall, I feel very lucky to work with DPs. I have been working with DPs that I really feel good about their aesthetic languages. I felt, yeah, maybe for DPs, this project is not that difficult because most of the time we were using natural light. Yeah, I don't know, but I enjoyed it.
I mean, that's crazy to think that all of that was natural light, though. So I think it must have just been gorgeous shooting in those spaces as well.
Yeah, that's funny. Sometimes it was so hard, so cold, but then especially at sunset and sunrise was so beautiful. All the crew members start to take selfies. I feel they were excited, even though they were super cold.
That's good. At least they got beautiful photos.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the apartment scene. So
Mm-hmm.
like the staging of that scene is so different from the stuff you were doing beforehand. So did you have to change certain things when you were in the process of like building that scene, or did it come out the way that you imagined it? Because the staging must have been hard because it's a lot of people in a relatively small space, but you do a fantastic job of giving each individual kind of a personality in that moment and enough time for you as the viewer. And it's only 13 minutes for the film, but I felt like each individual character felt defined.
Yeah, thank you. So definitely, I feel I never really finished writing the script. Every time I thought this is done, I will go to production, but it just never happened. At the beginning, I wasn't able to come back to China early enough. We still have classes. So I have a very good acting professor who suggests that I can rehearse with actors in New York to test if this scene works. Because I'm writing a scene with 6 people speaking at the same time, which is so hard for a new filmmaker like me. And I took her advice, which was super helpful, even though I was so worried, because after rehearsing with all the actors I can find in New York, they're all from different countries and nobody is really speaking Chinese. So we were rehearsing in English, and the scene looked super weird. And I just feel, oh my God, this thing's not working. And I just keep changing it and just still feel it's not right. It just feel weird in English. But when I went back to China, when I first have this table read with those actors I chose, I feel relieved. I feel, oh, this sounds good in the native language. It doesn't have that weirdness. Even with the uncles friendly touching the girl, with foreign actors, just feel like a little bit offensive.
Yeah, a little creepy.
You know what I'm talking about. So it's a very interesting experience for me. But definitely, I feel it helped me to just have to think each person carefully, what they're doing, what they're saying. And through casting, I'm also shifting the background of each actor. I have to explain to them where are they coming from, why they're here, what's their relationship with the girl's father. So we have a full backstory with them as well, but we're never going to show in the movie. They all have different personalities. If you can tell, the uncle, the man sitting close to the father, who is the closest friend with the family, and we were imagining he is the funny one. He always like make people laugh, and he actually was the one who introduced the stepmother to the father. And those other two were the followers, but they all have different age and different personalities. Besides that, like the father, the stepmother, we also make up a lot of backstories for them. And sometimes we rehearsed a few scenes before this table scene. For example, we rehearsed scenes that when they first met. We rehearsed scenes that when they first move into this new apartment for their marriage. So those things, I feel maybe it could help them, because they also just met each other. But I tested a few things like that to support them. But mainly, I feel actor just play such a big part in short films. I got very lucky to have all of them.
I'm sure you were part of it as well as a director, but like I felt very connected to each one of the characters, and they all felt like real people that I might know or might meet, and I really like that. Sometimes with a short film, it's hard to get that across, especially with so many characters. And it was such a shift, like from like this space where you have a little girl on a horse and her mother to this cramped space. And I thought it was such a lovely, the journey of the film was very well done, like where neither side felt unreal or uneven. So I wanted to commend you on that, and also to like draw attention to it. One of the questions I kind of like to ask for fun is, what was, if you're thinking about a scene that was really fun to shoot or brought you joy, what was a moment when you were making the film that kind of brought you joy?
I feel the dancing scene was pretty fun. Also, there was a scene I cut after dance they were leaving. I felt we don't need that scene, but when we were shooting that one, everyone was drunk. Acting, they're not really drunk, but it was so funny. Those non-actors, they act so well, and they just keep adding a few little details for themselves. For example, the funny uncle, he was drunk. He just keep hugging the stepmother, or the father already fell asleep on the couch. He just keep pulling him to keep dancing with him. There were a lot of improvisation happened, and I feel they're so natural. Besides that one, I also enjoyed the horse scene. There was one shot we were shooting behind the horse. I didn't use that shot, but the horse S was facing the camera, and everyone's ready. The AD said, "Camera ready? Are you ready? Actor ready? Ready." And then we roll, and the horse raised the tail, and he poops.
Oh no!
And everyone's watching that moment. And the horse seems hide a diarrhea. It was like half liquid, and we just filmed the whole thing. The ground was like, and then it's in fall, early winter. The grass is gone, so it's mainly soil. So this thing happened. We have to. It just basically ruined our continuity. We just have to like pause and just to move or put more sand on it to cover it. But it's just a whole big piece. Yeah, things like that just happen unexpectedly. Or sometimes the horse just doesn't listen to us. It was my first time to know that the horse was a hormone-driven animal. If they see a female horse, they will just run to the female horse. Yeah, it was very funny experience. I love horses.
Well, that's good to know. Oh my God, I can't imagine that moment where you just see it all. You're just like so ready to shoot, and then
yeah, so real.
That's very funny. I guess my next question, well, my next two questions. First one is, what do you want people? I mean, of course, you want the audience to interpret the film whatever way they want, but what do you hope people take from the film?
Definitely, my personal goal is for the audience to emotionally connect it to the girl, her pain, her struggle. That's my biggest goal in this short film as a learning experience. How could I use limited dialogues, try to use zero language to build the connection, which is hard. I had to do a lot of work, study a lot of movies that I like to see how they did it. Besides that, when I was working on this film, I've been thinking a lot about what kind of film I want to make. Every short film, I kind of tested different things. I also like comedy, so I also make a Wes Anderson-ish short film in my first year. So, but the more projects we do, I just feel I have to answer that question, what kind of film I really want to make. I feel I gradually start to get close to that answer. I want to make personal projects that would arouse emotions, would combine the landscape with individuals. I definitely feel I know myself better, how I would feel about certain things that I would never thought about. Yeah, definitely. Also, I feel forgiven for my parents. As I grown older, I definitely feel when I was making this film, when I was writing all those backstories I told you before, and I feel people is complicated. Even though they are not perfect parents, they have their own backstories, maybe different from the story, but yeah, I just feel I understand them more.
I mean, that's wonderful. I'm glad that process. I remember watching, because I've watched it multiple times, like seeing it from different perspectives, like how it must be. Of course, you connect with the child and her hurt, and also just her confusion in that space, and her want to return to her home, at least the one that she's defined as home. But I also thought it must have been really interesting from the father's perspective to see your kid come through and want them to be part of this new life that you built for yourself, and not really knowing how to do that, and not having the language in a way to do that. And I thought the film does a really good job of like not giving those multiple perspectives. So it makes sense that you wrote all that backstory for them. So I think that's lovely. And I guess my next question, you kind of sort of answered it, but what's next? Are you working on anything currently? Are you going to expand this? What's next? Because I really love this film and I would love to see whatever you do next.
Yeah, thank you. So definitely I have a feature project based on this short film. It's about the whole family just gradually moving into the city. And also I'm working on another feature about a Chinese mother coming to New York to find her missing daughter, who is an international student like me. So basically I'm working on those two projects. And I think end of this year, I'm gonna make my thesis short film, which would be a short film based on the Chinese mother feature script. So it will be like a one moment from that feature idea, help me to explore the world, the style. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds wonderful and I can't wait to see it. But thank you so much for joining us at Cascadia, and thank you so much for your beautiful film. Thank you everyone who's watching this right now. And if you haven't seen the film yet, the film is called Heading South, so please check it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.